we're just about ready to get started. Hello, Daniel. Are you there?
I am here, and I apologize. I have my times messed up. I'm in Houston, so.
We're here in Boston. Sorry about that. Anyway, just a quick introduction. Every month or so, we like to do basically a show and tell, show off what our actual partners are doing with Alpha Anywhere, how they're using it in the real world. And I saw parts of this presentation on Monday, and they really are fantastic. So thanks, guys, for waiting. I think you'll find it's really worth it. I'd like to present to you Daniel Santucci from Goodman Manufacturing. Daniel, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter so that we'll be able to see your screen.
Okay.
And I'll let you know when that comes up. So you should see a dialog box. Great, and I see your screen. I'm looking at a web browser right now.
Fantastic. Good. Hopefully everyone can see the screen, and let me start the presentation here.
Yep, it's coming through. Great.
Beautiful. So, my name is, again, Daniel Santucci. I'm the Director of Pricing and Strategic Development. So my main function at Goodman is to be the keeper of price, to make sure that we are conforming to the company's standards and philosophies as far as margin and being fair with our dealers and as well as the consumers. But in addition to that role, I'm also strategic development. So it's sort of a double-edged sword. So I go in and teach the regions within my division how to sell and provide our customers with solutions that allows them to succeed and to make money. Without having to drop pricing. That's the key with me, right? So Alpha has played a very significant role in helping us develop tools that we can quickly come to market with and provide to our customers, and to allow them to not have to burden themselves to figure out how to go out and get a contractor to do it and spend a lot of money in the process. And again, we can offset a lot of that cost by, of course, capturing their business and their loyalty to our brand. So what I'd like to talk about today too, and again, to give you guys sort of a quick background, again, on just who I am besides the role that I just gave you. I went to school to study electrical and computer engineering in Florida, and worked within the financial industry for a number of years on doing imaging and data extraction. So used a lot of different APIs, A2IA you may have heard of, or MyTech. So we've utilized a lot of those data and structured document formats to do extraction for high-speed processing within the financial industry. And then I moved within that field, had gone through a couple of iterations and hit a lot of horizontal markets, met a lot of people outside the financial industry, and of course one being in the HVAC industry, and started to head down that path and been in this industry for 9 years. And so with that being said, the important thing about Alpha and what it has absolutely allowed us to do is, again, to utilize a tool, an API, and be able to develop solutions very, very quickly and provide those to our dealers and have that up and running within a couple of months, not within 6 months or a year period of time. Very, very quickly, very fast. The tool allows for what I call flexibility, and we're able to convert it. It's very convertible. We can, as you'll see today, wrap Alpha around different bootstraps, and we can also utilize Alpha in conjunction with that with mobile apps. So one of the challenges that we have had with our industry is training. We have our customers sell the HVAC equipment, which is AC equipment, to the residential or consumer. And not only do they have to sell it, but they also have to maintenance it and understand it, support it. And we are the manufacturer, we're the distributor, so we're not in the field doing the support. We have to depend on our customers, which means that we have to train our customers on how to maintenance and troubleshoot the equipment. And that's a very, very difficult task when you're talking of the entire United States as well as Canada that utilizes our equipment, and we have multiple people out in the field. So we have to coordinate training and so forth. So it becomes a very difficult endeavor and a very difficult one to track to see who's been trained and who hasn't. So you would think that a company of our size would have these tools in place, but we just don't. So again, Alpha to the rescue. We were able to utilize Alpha in a way that, again, allowed us to come to market very quickly with a program you're going to see that allowed or has allowed us to have our customers go online, look at available classes, and see what's offered, and quickly sign up for the classes. Now, some areas in the state will charge for the classes and some will not. The first page that you are seeing today is a landing page. And on this landing page, there will be additional subsets in here that our customer will see. Well, of course, one will be a training course, as you'll see today, and then the other one that we're about to introduce, and I'm not going to put on here because I got some snafus on it, but is our what we're calling meet and greets, where we're driving our customers to our local branches, and which has been a huge success. And being able to introduce them to our partners, our vendors, and so forth, and so they're able to see those times and register for those. But in this scenario, our customers are able to look at the available training class, and we then at that point present them with a calendar of the state, and they can go ahead and select on any one of the states that they're in to view the available classes. So in this demo, we're going to show the Florida class, or Florida region, excuse me. So now the dealer has an option to quickly click on an event list, or they can go ahead and look at an event calendar. So the list will give us a display of all the classes just in a time and date period, and they can quickly click on that, or they can look at it again in a event calendar format. So again, in this scenario, I'm going to show the event list view. And so when they click on that class, they'll see the available class that's being offered, and it shows the class, the location of the class, the instructor, and if there's a person to contact with questions, and that may be the sales rep, that may be an administrator. We have the back end, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that allows you to set that contact person up. In this scenario, we're going to have a person that's going to be an administrator for each region, which is a state, region being a state. And so that administrator will be able to field and answer questions that our customers may have. So then moving on to the right, you'll see the cost of the class. So here we have a cost of the class being $75, $60, $75, and then you have the option, of course, of signing up for the course. So very simple. Want to make it as straightforward as possible for the end user. They would click the sign up, and then again they could sign up for the course. Now, if it's a calendar view format, to give you the example, it'll show the classes that are being available for the particular month. So in this scenario, we have December. It's showing a two-stage course at 8:30, and then another course is a comfort course, and then an airflow course. So you have multiple courses that are being offered on the 29th through the 1st. And again, the dealer can click on that location and then get a detailed information on each one of these classes that are being available. And again, At that point, they can register for the class. Very simple. It shows the class location, the time, description of the class, cost, and again, they would click sign up, and it would take them directly to the registration page. And again, all of this information is being available to the customer. They can see it very quickly, and they can sign up. It only takes them but a second to do. They would click pay with a card, meaning a credit card, and then we're able to take a credit card payment directly from the unit or from our application by utilizing Stripe. You can see here it says $225. Let me go back here real quick, because you see that we have 3 people that are signing up for the class. It's $75, giving you a complete total for $225. When they do sign up for the class, we're able to send them an email reminder or an email confirming that they've signed up for this particular class. So it shows all the information, the time that the class is at. And the great thing about this particular module that we've integrated with API, this iCalendar, is that it also allows us to track the number of people that are being signed up for the class. We can set a threshold. So if we have a location, it's a small location, and maybe we can only hold 50 people in the class, we can set that up on this calendar, and the calendar will, or the module will keep track of the number of people that are signing up. So once it hits that threshold, if they try to sign up for the class, they'll say, we're sorry, the class is full, and it will update the calendar showing that it's full. And if you want to be put on a waiting list, you can, and the system will automatically take the first person in the waiting list and then offer that class up to them by sending an email and redirecting them back to the site. So it's a really great feature. It does allow the system to do the management of these classes, but it allows the administrator to make sure that other pieces such as location, maybe there's food or other things that need to happen, rather than trying to manage the site, let the site manage itself. So this is really the concept behind this tool. And again, as the class comes towards the time that it starts, the system will then automatically generate a email that gives you a reminder. And of course, you can set that on whatever time interval you want. So if it's 1 week before the class, and then another one that's 3 days before the class, and then another one 1 day before the class. I mean, that's really up to you as the developer on how you want to generate that. But again, all of this is being driven by Alpha. Okay, so here's the back office. So the back office, and before I get into that real quick, the one thing I do want to point out about the site is it's an open site. So we don't require any of our customers to have to log on, because it's a training class. It's a training site that allows them to go on and register. Well, we'll open it up to the public. It's fine. But now in the back office, obviously we have it designed so that it is password driven, because of course we want to make sure that only upper management or administrator or even a sales rep has access to information, of course, that we want to keep hidden from the customer. So the back office, what we call the Goodman portal, is there's pieces that you don't see, is a very, very powerful and robust tool. And it does incorporate more than just the training portal. And one piece Dave and I had went over yesterday and decided not to show because the information is confidential. But it does, this Goodman portal, and with meaning Alpha, has allowed us to build a centralized location that we're able to put Power BI into it, which is a analytics graphing tool, and to be able to look at a snapshot of what's happening within our entire company, meaning training classes, equipment, pricing, you name it. And the great thing about it is, with the power of Alpha, we can utilize that on our mobile devices as well. So if we're on the road, we can get very powerful information that can, really make us decide for millions of dollars, of winning millions of dollars, literally, or losing millions of dollars, literally. So we get real-time information. So it's huge for us. But going back to the training class, and I apologize for digressing, but for the training class, we have a subsection here, and you'll see it's a section that really allows us to customize what we want to see, how we want to see it. And we've utilized some forms here just for this demo to show you that you can look at how many people are signed up for the class, how many are not signed up for a course. Are we maximizing and utilizing our trainers the way we need to? Do we need to offer a much more technical class? What are the feedbacks that are we getting from the customers? So again, that gives us that option. And then again, if you look to the far left here, it shows you the different options that we have for creating a class. And I'll just briefly go through these, one being a training event, class list, class location, class instructors, class schedule, and then if we want to do a demo such as this, is a sign-up demo. And that's really going to be utilized for training admins and newer people so that they understand how to use it without having to disrupt production. So again, moving through this, if I were to go in and look at an event or sign up for an event, I can easily do that by clicking on the event schedule and then entering in the information. So the location, which would be Florida, the event name, the description of the event. Certainly we need to increase the box there so it's a larger paragraph text box. Your start time, end time, any kind of notes, contact information, and then certainly a cost of the class, and then how many seats. So remember I was talking about we can put a threshold on it and the system will manage it for us. So that gives us the option right here to show the number of seats that this class will be offering. And then no charge. Now this is a neat little feature. We may want to put the cost of a class to show the value of what we're bringing to the table, but we'll offer that at no charge. So we want to show our partners that, hey, there is a value that's associated with what we're doing, but we're passing that off. Now, it could also be used as a promotional period too. So maybe there's a popular class that our customers want to take and everyone's signing up for it. And maybe to drive more people to understand and how to use our equipment, we may offer that at no charge for a period of time, so we can quickly toggle that. And then again, class name, location, instructor, and then territory. So stuff that pertains for this particular event. And then again, we have, going back to the calendar, a quick view of what was just set up so we can look at it before going into production. And then again, looking at in more detail if we need to add or delete or update a class. Maybe there was a mistake that was made when it was being set up. Certainly we can have that option to do that. So let's look at the architect behind what I've quickly gone through. We have a front office that, again, it's a public website, so it's open to everybody and everyone's welcome to come to it and view and sign up for the classes. Of course, that promotes who we are and our product. And then we also have a back office maintenance site, which really is a much more global offering that does pack quite a bit for internal use. And again, I'm not showing you all of that. But the cool thing about that is that the engine behind all this is Alpha. And one thing that you haven't seen, of course, is the process of time that we've worked on this project and come to market with. And really, it is a very, very short period of time. I think from the actual proof of concept to the actual completion of the application was about a 2-month period of time, if that. So we're quickly moving out of our proof of concept and now slowly integrating the rest of our customer base and our company onto this new platform. So we've utilized a single alpha platform. The cool thing is that we've been able to use off-the-shelf bootstraps to help with creating that that ooh and the ah and the touch and the feels. For this particular back office demo, we showed you Google Docs or Google Charts, excuse me. And again, I really want to point out that the biggest thing that we are going to be using is Power BI. So that's going to be a huge engine, which is really being used on our financial portion of this, is going to be integrated into this portion. So Google Charts will move away and Power BI will move in. Again, much more power, no pun intended, than Google Charts, but of course Google Charts, if that's where you want to go, you can certainly use that. Alpha security system, again on the back end, and then utilizing that real powerful API, the Web2Cal, and integrating that calendar system has been huge for us. And that the Web2Cal is just a phenomenal piece of tool. And Dave, I'm sure when you get back on here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Web2Cal does work with Alpha pretty closely. And this was, I was steered towards it by your group, but incredible API, not very expensive, one-time fee, just a really, really nice feature. And you're seeing just a small piece of what that API is able to do. And then certainly Stripe, payment integrated system. And Stripe works with Alpha so seamlessly and so nicely. It is such a powerful system to have, especially if you're doing any kind of e-commerce type of application. It is awesome. Again, it saves so much time. So again, hand in hand with Alpha, putting all these things that I've listed out together is really, if you've worked with other tools out there, it's nothing that I've experienced. And trust me when I tell you, I've worked with .NET. I've done all C. I've done Java. I've done quite a different things, but Alpha itself has encapsulated a lot of the turnkey stuff and put it into a nice point-and-click format. Now, I do want to say there is, I'm a person that's very forward and very straightforward and honest. There is a learning curve that you have to take with Alpha, but again, it's not a very long one, and they offer great mentoring programs, which again I highly recommend, to help get you up and running and really understanding the structure and sort of the philosophy and mindset behind Alpha. So with that, Dave, I guess we could open up the floor for any kind of questions.
Great, excellent. Now would be an excellent time for you guys at home at your offices to type in your questions into the GoToWebinar control panel, and I will ask them of Daniel. We had a few which came through, and a few which seemed like you actually answered right at the very end. The first were a couple of people asked about what calendar control were you using, and you pointed out that you were using Web2Cal. And I think you'll actually find information about that in our documentation system. If not, send an email over to guides, G-U-I-D-E-S, at alphasoftware.com, and we can get you information on Web2Cal. It's used in quite a lot of Alpha applications, and it works pretty well. Another question that we had here was the map control. How did you do the map control so that you were able to click on it and go to a certain section?
Yeah, that was actually and I apologize, I have it on another system. It was a tool set, free tool set, and I can provide that to you, Dave. You can send it out,
Okay.
And it's already actually. I'll show you guys a live set of it real quick,
Cool.
if that's okay, so you guys can see that in action here. It's live. The nice thing is that I didn't have to do any of it. I just sort of plopped it in there, and I like eating.
That's good.
As I think we all do, right? So
Sure.
let me just see. Hopefully everyone can see this.
Yep.
It's public. And I'll just go here. And then you can see, yeah, this is all canned. I didn't have to do any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's a free tool set, so I'll provide that. And Dave, I'm sure you can go ahead and provide
Great,
that.
yeah, absolutely, we sure can. Yeah.
Again, easy peasy. That's all I want. I want to make it super easy.
Superb. Now you were talking about Power BI and how you plan to actually use that more and more in this application. A couple questions about that, but we'll start with the first one is, how do you link up to Power BI? How do you connect Alpha Anywhere to work with Power BI, just in general terms?
As far as, I guess maybe I don't understand the question as far.
So link up, I guess they could mean how do you exchange data with it? Is it like a RESTful API call, or is it
I see what you're saying.
in your system? Yeah.
Yeah. So there are several different API calls that you do have on Power BI, and we are taking our infant steps with it right now. So I wouldn't do justice by talking about it, to be quite honest. But there are API calls that we do make on it, and we are sitting through some classes. Let me say this: it is not as integrated friendly as, let's say, the calendar.
Sure.
or the U.S. map. So there are a lot of little things, and hence is one of the reasons why we were talking about Google Maps, because Google Maps, believe it or not, so you can see another example here. Actually, let me close that. No, I use this as an example. Apologize. Can you guys see my screen still?
Yeah, still can.
Okay, so this is a proof of concept model that we have. But we've used Alpha with it, and what you'll see here is Google Maps. And so this allows us to quickly integrate Google into
Google Charts,
Google Charts.
Great.
I'm sorry, thank you. Google Charts into it. So it's Google Charts is easy to just put a call to and integrate with Alpha. Super easy, especially with the bootstraps that we have. Power BI is a little bit more complicated, and I will tell you this much: you will have to sit in on classes with them and raise your hands and ask them for help on how to do certain things. So it's not as user-friendly as what you may see here on this piece.
Neat. Very cool. Someone was asking about how you're handling the back-end data. Is this going to SQL Server or MariaDB or Azure or something else?
Oh, great question. Awesome question. We initially had started off with MySQL, and because of our policies and structures in our company, we had to move to SQL. And then to make our lives easier, I'll go to my screen. We're using Navcat for MySQL, but I can pull certainly SQL into that for editing.
Mm-hmm.
Great question.
Great. So they moved it over. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that you were using Bootstrap, but a couple people had pointed out that, wow, that's a really good-looking back office interface there. So you used Bootstrap, and for those of you who have worked with Bootstrap, there were a couple of little gotchas that you probably ran into in that you had to rename certain things so it didn't conflict with what Alpha was doing. I don't know if you had to do that as well when you were building this, or if you just put it in an iframe and everything worked, or...
We did. I got to tell you real quick, Dave.
Yeah.
When I tell you that this thing came together so nicely, which is one of the things that is why I chose this piece. I want everybody to understand out there, we utilized for proof of concept, we weren't sure that this was going to take hold, so I didn't want to have to spend money on Web2Cal, doing a lot of research on getting the right bootstrap and so forth. When we put the proof of concept out there for this model, this idea, we just quickly put it out there. Just nothing generic and whatnot with Alpha. It was just generic. We had, within the first 2 weeks, over 500 people going onto the site and registering. It was crazy. It was so well received. And so we had to do something. And we had, there's quite a bit of challenge with it. So by having that number of people and not having the best structure for the old database structure, we had to move quickly. So we picked a bootstrap, just off-the-shelf bootstrap, and it's just, Dave, I'm telling you, we didn't have any problems with it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it just really worked nicely.
Oh, that is great. We have done a webinar on that before. If anyone is interested in seeing that webinar, just send an email over to guides, Guides, @alphasoftware.com, and I can point you to the right link for that. A bunch of people were asking about usage statistics, and you just mentioned one. You had about 500 people in the first week using just your proof of concept, I think, or something like that, or the first iteration of it. It's pretty amazing.
Let me show you guys. And there's multiple regions too. So
Okay.
I'll close this out. So this is an admin portion of it with the of course the calendar. So you can see the calendar format into this, giving us all the statistics and information about the class and so forth. But you'll see up here, see class signups. And by the way, so you understand, we've had to clean this database up multiple times because it can't handle the number of people that are registering for stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we've got to knock out of classes and so forth. So right here you see showing 1 of 25 of 186, but the number of attendees are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And again, we can drill into this and view this, but you can see that this is, again, the proof of concept is pretty sparse.
Pretty far along. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but again, for this, what we've ended up doing with alphas, we've consolidated a lot of the steps and made it much more easier for the admin and for the user to sign up for the classes, as well as billing. So ton of features on this, but having this kind of tool, again, is more than just, again, a training class. It does represent when we do have these introductions or classes or what we call regional meetings, where internally we have big programs. So just really exciting stuff that we're able to do with this particular tool.
Wow, that is really cool. Let me see if there are any more questions here. Oh, quick question about Stripe. Was that difficult to integrate or pretty straightforward?
Super straightforward.
Yeah?
Literally, Alpha has instructions on how to work with it, and then once you get into Stripe, it's like it'll take, if you are, even if you don't have a very strong technical background, it would take a person an hour to figure it out. Super.
That's fantastic.
But Alpha's made it super easy. I'm telling you, you have everything you need to know. You can integrate it into anything. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Cool. Looks like about one last question here remaining, and that was, so I think you personally were involved in the development of this, but did you have other people working with you, or were you the sole developer, or what did your team look like for putting this together?
It was two of us. So there's one additional person that was helping as well.
Great. And what was their skill set when they were helping? What sort of skills did they come to the table with?
Extreme knowledge of Alpha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they understood Alpha. They were highly versed with Alpha, and certainly.
So you brought in like an Alpha consultant or something like that, or
that's exactly right. Yep.
Okay, great,
Yep.
Wonderful, Excellent, fantastic. Well, Daniel, thank you very much. This has been really very cool. If anyone has any additional questions that they forgot to ask, just go ahead, send an email into guides@alphasoftware.com, and I'll get in touch with Daniel. Daniel, thank you very much for your time today. Very, very cool application, and we will see you soon. For all of you who tuned in today, thank you very much for attending. We hope to see you at a future webinar. Take care, and goodbye.